There's one more question which is not here, but which comes quite often in the exams. Okay, listen to my words. Let's say if I ask you at what time do the hands of a clock coincide with each other? At what time do the hands of a clock coincide with each other between 4 to 5? No, see guys, in your chat box, I have written the question there. At what time between 4 to 5 p.m. do the hands of a clock coincide with each other? Shivam and Manasvi, will it be exactly 4:25? It cannot be exactly 4:25, right? Okay, now listen to my word. Um, this formula, we were using this formula to like how many variables are there in this formula? There are exactly three variables, right? One is the theta, which is the angle between the hands. One is the minute, and one is the R value, right? So basically, we were using this formula to find the angle between the R hand and the minute hand at some particular time. So basically, the time was already given to us. So we took the value of M and H from there, we put it in this formula, and we got the angle, right? But it is also possible that if I give you the value of theta and if I give you the value of H, you will be able to find out the value of M. It is possible that I will give you the value of theta, I will give you the value of H, and you can find out the value of M, right? So if the time is between 4 to 5 p.m., if the time is between 4 to 5 p.m., so I can say that the format of the time will be something like 4 is to m, 4 is to m, or 4 is to x, where 4 is the hour value and x or m will be the minute value, right? So what you can do is you can put the value of theta as 0, because we are talking about coinciding of the hands. So the angle between the hands will be 0. So in this formula, when you put the value of theta as 0 and the value of h as 4, then you will get the value of m, and that value of m will come out to be 240 by 11. 240 by 11 will be somewhere around 21 9 by 11. I'll repeat again, guys. The question was that between 4 to 5 p.m., exactly at what time do the hands of a clock coincide? Okay, so now what is the question? They have given us the angle indirectly, because if the hands are coinciding, so the angle between the, if the hands are coinciding, then the angle between the hands is 0 degrees. So they have given us the angle. They also give us the value of the hour, because the time is between 4 to 5 p.m. So it will be of the form 4 is to m, where 4 is the hour value and m will be the minute value. So in this formula, when I put the value of theta as 0 and the value of h as 4, then after simplifying, you will get the value of m. That value of m will come out to be 240 by 11. Okay, so this is another type of question which is asked on this concept. Okay, like when I gave you coinciding, similarly they might also give you at what time between 4 to 5 p.m. are the hands of a clock opposite to each other. So opposite to each other means the angle between the hands will be 180 degrees, right? So they could have also asked this type of question, and you could have solved it with the help of this formula. Okay, so please remember, you will use this formula when the time is given and you want to find out the angle, or the angle is given, the hour value is given, and you want to find out the minute. Okay, now moving ahead, coming to concept number 3. So guys, concept number 3 is very simple, and there's no formula as such. You just need to remember these values. It simply says that this concept simply says that a particular angle occurs for how many times in a day. It occurs for how many times in a day. Okay, so a simple question for you. If I ask you that in 12 hours, in 12 hours, for how many times do the hands of a clock coincide with each other? In 12 hours, let's say from 12 a.m., from 12 midnight to 12 noon. In these 12 hours, for how many times do the hands of a clock coincide with each other? Generally, the answer is either 11 or 12, which I get from the students. Santosh, Manasvi, Akash, Noor, Soumya, if you are saying 11, then can you tell me exactly at what time it did? It, like, we generally have a thinking that in every 1 hour they coincide once. So if I'm taking a duration of 12 hours, it should coincide for 12 times, right? But your answer is 11. So can you tell me which is the slot where they don't coincide? Can you tell me which is the slot where they don't coincide? Guys, if you look out at your watch, you will see that, let's say from 12 midnight to 12 noon, okay? Generally, the hands of a clock, they coincide once in every hour. Okay, like from 12 to 1 o'clock, they coincide at somewhere around 12:05. Similarly, from 1 to 2, they coincide at somewhere around 1:10, 1:11. Okay, so likewise, they have a point in every hour except the last hour, which is from 11 a.m. to 11:59 a.m. Okay, 11 a.m. to 11:59 a.m. They don't have a coinciding position out there. Okay, they don't have a coinciding position between 11 to 12, because when the hands of a clock try to coincide at that slot, it is exactly 12 o'clock. Okay, so that is the slot where like you don't have a coinciding position, and that is why we say that the hands of a clock, they make 0 degrees for 11 times in 12 hours. Try to remember this box. What is this box saying? It is saying theta, different values of theta, and in 12 hours, for how many times does it like repeat, and in 12 hours how many times does it forms that particular angle. So 0 degree means coinciding, 180 degree means opposite to each other. Okay, so when the question is simply asking you for how many times in a day do the hands of a clock coincide, for how many times in a day the hands of a clock coincide, so your answer will be 22. You can see 22 in row 1. But if the question is asking you for how many times in 12 hours do the hands of a clock coincide, so in that case your answer will be 11. Okay, so you need to be very careful out here. If the time duration is of 12 hours, coinciding positions will be 11. But if the time duration is of 24 hours or 1 day, then the coinciding position will be 22. Okay, so now what is this box saying? This box is saying that 0 degrees and 180 degrees, they occur for 11 times in 12 hours. 0 degrees and 180 degrees occurs for 11 times in 12 hours. And then second row is saying that theta lying between 0 to 180. Any angle apart from 0 to 1, any angle apart from 0 and 180 occurs for 22 times in 12 hours and 44 times in 24 hours. Okay, exactly double of the previous one, right? So this is very important to it comes in the test and very easy to remember. Simply remember it in this way: 0 degree or 180 degree 11 times in 12 hours, any other angle 22 times in 12 hours, exactly double. Okay, so the last line of the PPT is also saying the same thing. Each angle between 0 to 180 is formed 22 times in 12 hours, whereas 0 and 180 degrees are formed 11 times each. Okay, so this is the only information which you need to remember from this concept. So let's have a simple question. What will be the answer of this question, guys? Shubham, 180 degree, the number of times 180 degree happens will be equal to the number of times 0 degree happens. Very good, everyone. The answer is 44 because they are talking about right angle. Right angle means 90 degrees. So we just saw in the previous slide that any angle apart from 0 and 180 occurs for 44 times in 24 hours. Okay, and 90 degree will also come here. So the answer will be option C. Okay, yes. Between 0 and 180, every angle will occur for 44 times in a day. Okay, guys, then comes the next concept, the concept of mirror image. Okay, what would be the question? Basically, you can think that let's say you have a hand, you have a clock in your hand, and you're standing in front of a mirror. Okay, so definitely the like when you were holding the clock, and let's say the time was 6:30. Okay, so when you're standing in front of the mirror, in the image, the time will not be 6:30, it will be different. Okay, so what will be the value of that time in the mirror image is what we are going to simply learn in this concept. Okay, and like you can figure it out very well, right? Let's say if I ask you that if the time is 7:20, if the time is 7:20, then what will be its mirror image? Think, like, there's nothing, no logic in it. Simple, you need to visualize that if the time is 7:20, what will be the mirror image? So generally people will get confused between 440 and 540. If the time is 7:20, then what will be the mirror image? So guys, now when we stand in front of a mirror, our top and bottom remains the same, but our left and right, they interchange. Yes, so, and moreover, the object which is nearer to the mirror will also be nearer in the, will appear nearer to the image, right? So when the time is 7:20, if you look out for the image properly, you will see that it will be 440. Okay, just try to visualize it on the screen. You can see that in the mirror image, for like when you're standing in front of a mirror and this 1 2 3 4, all these are closer to the mirror, right? So in the mirror image also 1, 2, 3, 4 will appear closer to the image. Okay, so the hour hand which was pointing at 7, the hour hand which was pointing at 7, just imagine now where will it be pointing now? It will point towards 4, okay, somewhere around 4 to 5 actually, okay, and the minute hand which was pointing exactly towards 4, now that will point exactly towards 8. The minute hand in 720, it was pointing exactly towards 4, and now in the mirror image that minute hand will point exactly towards 8, okay, exactly towards 8. The hour hand when the time was 7:20, so the hour hand was pointing between 7 and 8. The hour hand was pointing somewhere between 7 and 8. So now in the mirror image the same hour hand will point somewhere between 4 and 5. Okay, so if it is pointing between 4 and 5, the hour hand is pointing between 4 and 5, and the minute hand is pointing towards 8, so the time becomes 4:40. Okay, now the simple formula or the simple shortcut which you need to remember, that the given time plus the mirror image time is equal to 1160. Okay, so when I gave you the time as 7:20, what you could have done is from this 60, you could have subtracted that 20. So 60 minus 20 will give you 40, the minute value. And from this 11, you could have subtracted the hour value. So 7:20, the hour value is 7. So 11 minus 7 will give you 4. Okay. So you can simply use this shortcut to solve the questions based on mirror image of clouds. Is it clear, guys? Is it clear? Simple approach 1160. If I give you any particular time, let's say the time is what is the time at now? Right now it is 6:50, right? 6:51 actually. So if the time is 6:51, the mirror image will be what? From 60 we will subtract 51, so it will be 09. The minutes will be 09, and the hour value will be 11 minus 6, 5. So the mirror image time will be 5:09. Okay, 5509, I mean. So uh, try out this question. I believe everyone now can solve this question in 10 seconds without the help of pen and paper. Three people, four, five, six, seven responses, eight responses. I got 8 responses within 5-6 seconds. Great. Okay, great. So simple approach, from 11 we will subtract 7, so I'll get 4. From 60 I will subtract 35, so I'll get 25. So the time